Happy New Year. This is a spontaneous, fun video for our friends and lovers across the world. I'm here with some intimate beloveds who've been in a very deep conversation about queering sex positive, sacred, and shamanic spaces. And so we've been in this deep, controversial conversation and kind of like a laboratory. And I thought, let's pull back the curtains so that anyone who's interested in joining this conversation can hear some of the harvest of what we've been talking about for the last year. We all we co-created ISTA's Queer Belgium together, but here we are just as friends sharing some of the learnings and some of our vision for what's to come. So I'd love for each of you to introduce yourself. I'll start by saying I'm KamalaDevi, they, them, and Assis.
Hey everyone. So I'm here in Berlin. You can call me Assis, Aviv. My pronouns are they, them. And maybe a word on pronouns. There is, like, pronouns are a love language for us, for the queer community, a way for you to see us, to not assume things about us. Like, think about it. Like the amount of investigation that there is still to be made on ourselves is enormous. How much do we know? How much do I know myself that I need to assume on you just because of the way you look? So using pronouns and asking for people's pronouns is a very beautiful, gentle, tender way to say, I see you. I don't assume anything about you. And I also allow you to invent and reinvent yourself again and again. And I'm here in Berlin, and in Berlin it's quite alive. The sex positive scene, also folks from lots of ISTA grads, and the beauty of bridging, of bringing more queer people into the sex positive scene is an asset. It's a huge resource, and yeah, it's just a big celebration. Yeah, more variety, more diversity.
Thank you. Blake, do you want to?
Hello, everyone. Yes, I'd love to. I'm Blake Zeeler. I'm really happy to be here. You can refer to me by he or they pronouns, depending on your assumptions. I like to see what those are. It always is a curious discovery to see how I'm being seen. And yeah, I'm coming to this call with a lot of gratitude for the upgrades that I've received showing up in these queer spaces as a queer man, hoping to transmit and serve a message of sacred sexuality and spirituality and shamanism that really lands for all of my queer siblings, and being delightfully humbled by the experience of walking in with what I have seen work really well in other spaces, whether that's like a men's work brotherhood container or more heteronormative co-ed spaces, like the way that certain bits of curriculum and philosophy have worked for all those places was resting in me as like a this is how it's done. This is the way to transmit it. And I've been so happy to be on this adventure with you all to really feel where the audience is teaching me how to speak to them in a way that is more current, more updated, more sensitive, more nuanced, and more inclusive to the wider world that is so rainbow colored and not non-binary, non-dual even, right? It's feeling the intersection of non-dual and non-binary. And yeah, recognizing my own like internal biases and even like colonization of thought that has led me to show up in these spaces thinking I know what they need to hear rather than really listening to discover what it is that they want to hear. And so it's been a fascinating discovery, and yeah, it's given me a lot of excitement to yeah, dive in with all of our colleagues and our peers and our yes, queer siblings to like update the conversation.
Yeah, so much beauty and diversity in the magic that, each individual brings. Um, so yeah, I'm Shadi, also known as Tara. I use all pronouns, but um, they, them kind of make more sense in the long term. I kind of like it when people switch them up a little bit. I'm gender fluid, and it's been a lifelong exploration for me to become more accepting and, inclusive of my own inner diversity and, the richness of many different parts of me that I've learned to explore over many years and exploring many different cultures as well. I'm like an avid lifelong nomadic traveler, and I've learned to speak many languages, and I'm saying that in a symbolic way, and um and learn to connect with many different realms that live in this world, and it's allowed me to really embrace a very deep inner sense of yeah, I want to say diversity, and so I kind of identify a little bit as a shapeshifter, which is a challenging path. And I'm definitely gender fluid, so therefore there is a sense of like I actually enjoy shifting up pronouns a little bit and playing around. Um, And I've noticed that me doing that actually also offers a lot of permission for many different parts of many different people in the trainings um that I'm present at, whichever role, whether it's as a teacher or a guide or assistant or as an organizer, that offers a lot of permission for people to bring themselves authentically. And really something that I feel passionate about and actually feels like a turn on to me is understanding how how to relate to people and how to learn to speak their language in a way that will help them to feel safe enough and empowered for their wisdom to come through. And every single one of us has just these beautiful, unique pieces of wisdom that are different in every environment and every moment. And and it's a practice that I'm ongoingly excited about and training myself in to learn to meet people in ways that actually allows for my curiosity to be received by them so that they can feel safe in expressing them. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and and I keep learning. um but yes, it's been a true blessing actually to learn so much through the people that I'm able to interact with in these, very um, important, very intimate, vulnerable, sex positive, and shamanic spaces. So I feel very blessed about that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's all I've got for now.
I want to add how much language is a part of this journey. And so many people think, oh, why do I have to be so sensitive or have the right word, or like, can't you just feel my meaning? Or I don't care about pronouns, people, human are humans. And I want to name how beautiful it is when your pronouns match who you are, or when the common vocabulary about masculine and feminine fits like your picture. It's like, that's awesome when there's congruence. But for those who don't fit into that, there's an invisibility, there's a sense of being left out, there's a re-traumatization of all the times that they were othered. And there's a unique set of wounding and sensitivity that queer people have. And so much of what we're wanting to upgrade is like, let's attune to those sensitivities, but also it makes us more, it broadens our own understanding of the human condition, and that attunement to include people is so tricky. Like, one of the things that we found is in a culture like the queer culture that always feels like othered or left out, one of the things is you create a queer event, and then even the queerest will say, I'm not queer enough, or I feel like I'm not included, or feel like, because that's such a wound, it's really often that people are like, oh my gosh, is it okay? Am I in? Am I out? That exclusion wound is so easy to trip up because it's inside of all of us. And so big part of what we're addressing is, not just, okay, let's just keep including, but let's underneath it, let's accept that there's inside, there's outside, and there's these pains. And how do we have the difficult conversation about these really uncomfortable things to talk about? And yeah, we have to change our language and be more fluid. It's uncomfortable, but it's worth it. I know, Assis, before we wrap, that you had another insight you wanted to share.
Yeah, actually, one of the pain points you said this unique wounds, and with you, I call it the sacred wound. So part of the unique wound is also the unique superpower and the unique gift that comes and is like, no lotus without the mud. So if we're getting with the mud, there's also the unique queer joy. So it's really important for me to say that, and not just the wounds, obviously. And one of the things is that this split, this binary, this like feminine, masculine, or even if we talk about practicalities, if we do some kind of an event, a day event, a retreat, the toilets, for example, to have at least one non-binary toilet, so people will not have to face this question again and again, or this kind of like trigger again and again. Even here in Berlin, sometimes we have, here you can sit and stand. That's it. So simple. So with the wording and with the languaging, we are, for example, the feminine and masculine, coming with these words of feminine and masculine. For many, many, many years, it comes with a big kind of like sack of meaning that is very connected to people's genders. And we find out that when we're using words that are more allowing, for example, the divine line, like the order, or the sacred circle, like the chaos, how much more freedom it gives to people to own it within themselves. And yeah, just another suggestion. And maybe in 50 or 100 years, people say, oh, divine line, sacred circle, this is so old news. Maybe we use this femininity and masculinity, and that will be oh my God, it's all retro, yeah? Because this is not news. It's requeering. We're not doing something new. It's like exposing what is already there. This is how I see it.
It's so beautiful.
Before I turn it back to you, Blake, I wanted to just acknowledge the leadership that you, Blake, Shadi, Assis, that just how important it is to have queer leaders. And you just being you gives so much permission and role models for people to come into the space and already feel comfortable hearing your coming out stories, or like what the obstacles you had to come through in order to be fully expressed, and that we're all still works in progress and we're all still figuring it out as we go along, and it's messy. So I just really, really celebrate that, the courage to be leading in a space that's pretty uncharted.
Somebody, again, one last sentence, sorry, but somebody came to me the other day and told me, oh, how did you get to be like this, like when I was leading something? And I looked at them and I told them, wow, I made so many mistakes. So here for making all these mistakes, yeah.
Yeah,
I was going to say
the mistakes are worth it. The mistakes are worth it because our medicine's precious, and everybody brings something truly unique. But I keep playing and praying. It's what we're here for. So
yes, we're here and we're queer and we're here for all of you. I wanted to stop and acknowledge what KD said. We've had great teachers and role models to being queer leaders. So thank you, KamalaDevi, for the inspiration and the permission to be even more of what we already are. So we are continuing to vibrate this conversation and bring more and more people into it, because we know that the queer mission and the inclusive mission is alive and well in the field, and there are voices that have not yet participated in the conversation that are just waiting for an invitation, I think. And so let this be your invitation. We would love to hear from you. Feel free to engage with us in the comments, or reach out to us, or keep your eye on the ISTA webpage or our personal web pages for more queer-centric events. There will be many coming, and we look forward to telling you about those as well in a future installment of this circle.
Thank you.